What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. FantasyTeamAdvisors.com, bringing home the bacon, MLB DFS video. It is Saturday. It is August 3rd edition, a full slate, if you will. Split up. Normally, it's a split up Saturday slate. But what's awesome is the majority of games are at night time this time. So we've had ones where the majority has been early, but that is not the case today. If you're new to the channel, welcome to the channel. You can already tell the video is probably a little bit longer than what you're used to, but that is because we do things way differently than other DFS providers. They're going to give you those 5 plays that they like. They're going to go this direction. They're going to zig while you zag. They're not probably as truthful, I will say. I have some proof of that. I'm not going to get into it, but we do it different. We go through every game. We look at every single game, the pitchers, the batters. We do it all. If you are needing a little bit of a summarization, maybe you don't have a time for it, watching the entire video would help me out. But if you need a little bit, cheat sheet or Cliff's Notes version, in the description down below is today's article where we do give a handful of pitchers that we do like. We dig into those stats a little bit. Then we give you about 5 plays at each position that we like. So we pull that directly from our cheat sheet, so you can always go check that out as well. But liking this video, clicking on the ads, I know they're annoying. That helps out the channel way more than you understand. Buying some merch, we got some stickers down below. That would help us out as well. And just watching the entire video and sharing helps the YouTube algorithm. So if you guys would love to help us out, that would be awesome. If you are new to the channel, we do have giveaways every single day. 2 giveaways to be exact. The first way to win, like this video, be a YouTube subscriber, and leave a comment. If the video gets at least 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of FTA Plus. FTA Plus is every sport offered. So for today, it's MLB, MMA. Depending on when you watch this video, MMA is locking at noon Eastern instead of like 5 or 6 Eastern, which we're used to. We currently have NASCAR, which comes back next week. PGA is every Thursday that it's on, and then we are getting closer to NFL. We are very, very close to NFL. So if the video gets 50 likes, you have a chance to win a free week of all of FTA Plus. If the video gets 100 likes, a chance at a free month, which is a $30 value. 150 likes, a chance at a free $200 year. 200 or more likes, which we have never gotten on one of our videos. I think we can do it today. If you guys can get to 200 likes on this video, and you've left a comment, and you are a YouTube subscriber, one of you will win a lifetime pass, which is worth $500. So if you like the video at all, hit the like button. Have a chance at a $500 value. So good luck to everyone there. The second way, somewhere in this video, I will have a keyword. I'll put that. I'll say that keyword. You type it in, and you have a chance to win a free week on top of it. So you can win twice every single day. We've never had someone win twice every single day. Maybe today will be that day. So let's check out who the winners are from yesterday's video real quick before we jump into everything. So this will be, regardless if the keyword is here, it'll just be because we got a minimum of 5 or 50 likes on the video. Ricky DeVille, HLM Hospitals Love Money. It's like the second time that I believe you put HLM, and maybe I'm tired from having a newborn. I don't know what that means, but congratulations, Ricky. If you have not, email me dfshelp1@gmail.com. That's dfshelp1@gmail.com, saying you are the video winner. You'll put 83 video winner. And if you have a username on the website, let me know that. If you do not, send me a username and email you would like to have used, and we will see and get you set up for your free pass. Now, we are going to re-roll this until we have the keyword, which was Subway yesterday. So we're going to re-roll it. We're going to see what we do. And Mean Cantaf 17. I miss when $5 at Subway actually got you a photo. Yes, everything is very expensive. But congratulations. I don't believe I've ever seen your comment, so I don't know if you've ever won, but email me with say you're the keyword winner of 83 in the subject line, and then a username and email you would like used. So if you guys want a chance to win, all you got to do, like this video and leave a comment. So that being said, we do have a breakdown of games. We've got other games here that we're going to look at. We've got 5 games early. We've got 10 on the main slate. We're still waiting on some pitchers, and it's going to be that way, I think, for a little bit. So some of these spots were pitchers that were supposed to be there, but then they got traded. Now we're kind of waiting on news to see who the pitcher is going to be. But towards the end of this video, we're going to give you the top 5 pitchers who have the best odds against the opposing team who strike out the most. And we call that segment Pitches Be Crazy. So we'll go over that towards the end. And then at the very end, or close to the very end, we're going to give you every batter that has a 10 out of 10 matchup rating after we've thrown around some simulations. So if you want to go check out MLB tab, we've got projections, models, Vegas odds, batter splits, matchups, BVP, cheat sheet. We've got it all for you. And I kind of wanted to just show you like the cheat sheet from yesterday. This will help you build out your player pool and stuff like that. Now, again, this is yesterday's content. We have not uploaded today's yet, but just to kind of show you what kind of things you can see. We've got pitchers. We've got how we've ranked them for cash up here and all of these plays here. Then we got tournaments here and how we've ranked them as well. Then we've got our stacks, our favorite stacks of the day, along with batters in those stacks that we like. On top of that, we've got ownership percentages for Fanduel and DraftKings to help you out. If you're playing DFS, you got to find that ownership. You got to find that leverage on those. We've got weather. We've got sample lineups to help you start out for the slates. And then we've got boomstick shots, players we project or predict to hit home runs. We've gotten 64 correct calls through the season so far. So we're very excited. We bring you a ton of content. If you want to check it out, $10 a week, $30 a month is what you got. So now we are going to get into the early slate right now. So we're looking at Jose Barrios versus Carlos Rodon. The Blue Jays, again, here at Yankee Stadium. Yankees, overall, they've done pretty well. They're tied for, I think they're still tied for first. I didn't look at the standings. In the AL East, they did have a very rough stretch of like a month of agony for a lot of people. But now we've got some more games that we can break down and look at. So we are going to talk about our sponsor once we get through this early slate, which is Outlier.bet, which you guys already know about. But looking into this, Carlos Rodon, he's already faced Toronto this year. He's had the strikeouts, has not done well. He's 0-2 this year. The walks are a little bit up against Toronto, and they've been able to hit him. George Springer has 2 bombs against him, and George Springer hasn't done anything against anyone all year. That's where... So it's a tale of 2 Rodons. We don't know which Rodon we're actually going to get because we've seen him have really good games, such as his last start. Then we've seen him get absolutely shelled. All of last year got shelled, and he started off very hot this year and kind of slowed down. But he's at home. We're kind of looking at home here. I do not mind Rodon as a pitcher. I think he's only probably a tournament option. I can't put all my money in to trust him in cash. Now, Toronto's up and down. You got Vladdy, you got George Springer, some righties there, but other than that, not a ton of amazing options against a lefty pitcher. But if you were to fade Carlos Rodon and you want to look at Toronto bats, Vladdy batting .310 against lefties, I would definitely look at him. You've got, depending, George Springer, he's only batting .192 against lefties, but he's had Carlos Rodon's number for whatever reason. He could be a very cheap option no one would be on. Ernie Clement batting .291 against lefties would be a very cheap option. Depending on, there's not a ton that I love. Overall, this team does not hit lefties very well. For instance, Alejandro Kirk batting .167. Barger batting .125. You've got Baroa batting .250, but only 4 at-bats. Batters that have had a lot of success, or a decent amount of bats. Spencer Horwitz batting .179. Loperfido batting .143. Like I said, Springer already .192. Davis Schneider batting .218. They are not hitting lefties well. So I do give the advantage to Carlos Rodon in this situation. But so Jose Barrios, it just depends on who you're going to get. He's actually had success against the Yankees this year. He's 1-0 record, 257 earned runs per 9, so he's held them down. striking them out, barely walking them, pitched 7 innings in that game. But the Yankees have been hitting very well as of late. Just looking at who's had success against Barrios in their past, Judge batting .321 with 3 bombs against him. Gleyber Torres has a home run against him. Trent Grisham has a home run against him. I don't know if I'd use him. Verdugo has a home run against him. Soto has a home run. Like, there are home runs here. Then we break down what Yankees bats hit well against lefty or against righty pitching this year. Obviously, the top 2 are Aaron Judge, Juan Soto. So those are in. Then you got Jazz. You got to get Jazz in there. The way he's been hitting, the way he's got a little bit of protection around the lineup, I don't mind him at all. You got Stanton if he's in there. He's got 15 bombs against righties. I don't know if he'll be in there, but we'll definitely pay attention there. Then it comes down to, do we ride the hot hand of DJ LeMahieu? Personally, I don't like that as much. If I were to make a stack, it would definitely be Judge, Soto, Jazz, Verdugo, maybe Austin Wells. Austin Wells has been hitting very well. Or you could even possibly look at Gleyber Torres. If Gleyber Torres it depends on where Gleyber lead. If he's leading off, I'm okay with that. But the lineups, they change so much. You really never know what lineup Aaron Boone is going to throw out there. So I think both of these pitchers are tournament pitchers, but I do like both of the offenses as well. Moving to the next game, Cardinals at the Cubs. We have a little bit of Kyle Gibson and a little bit of Jameson Taillon. Now, Taillon's name was being thrown out there to be traded. Did not happen, obviously. He's 1-1 against the Cardinals this year in 17.1 innings pitched. Strikeouts are low. That's true. The strikeouts have been low in that situation. I think he's a tournament pick. I don't trust him in cash, especially early. I really don't. If we are looking at Cardinals bats that have had success against the right-handed pitchers this year, Arenado's batting .274 with 7 bombs. Mason Wynn batting .304 with 2 bombs. Burleson batting .314. Like, these numbers are pretty good. Michael Ciani batting .276 with a bomb. You got Wilson Contreras coming in. Only batting .253, but has 10 home runs against righties. Nolan Gorman has 15 home runs. Like, I could see a St. Louis stack today doing exactly what you need. Taillon's had good games, and he's had some bad games this year. I think he's a tournament-only pick. I'm personally... Now, this is where I'll tell you. Sometimes I'm right. Sometimes I'm wrong. I'm not going to hide the truth. I'm probably fading Taillon and going Cardinals bats there. But on the flip side, you've got Kyle Gibson. He's actually had success against the Cubs this year. Their offense has looked lackluster lately overall. He's 11 innings pitched against them, 327 earned runs per 9 against them. I don't mind that. I'm really not looking at Cubs bats. If you want to look at Cubs bats, Cody Bellinger, okay, Seiya Suzuki, I'm okay with that. Like, there's not a ton that I love in this one. Isaac Paredes, I'd rather give the advantage to the Cardinals and Kyle Gibson a little bit. That's probably where I go in this game. Brewers at the Nationals, Aaron Savale versus DJ Hers. So Savale obviously getting traded, now making another start for the team that traded for him. Kind of mixed results. But if we look a little bit at some numbers here. Now, this is where Washington's offense has been... I never know what we're going to get with Washington's offense. So if we look at this, Savale has faced Washington once this year, 0-1 record. The earned runs were low. Strikeouts were low as well. Did not strike out very many in 5.2 innings. Overall, in his career, hasn't seen a ton of them, but I kind of like Washington as sort of a stack that I think people might not be on early. The bats that I would be looking at C.J. Abrams. He's got 12 bombs against right-handed pitching. Luis Garcia batting .288 with 11 bombs would be another one that I'd look at. Riley Adams batting .270 with 2 bombs against righties. I do not mind that. James Wood batting .255 does have a home run against righties. I think a sneaky stack could be what we're looking at in Washington. Now, DJ Hers. Milwaukee, historically, this year at least, have hit lefties well. We saw that they can hit lefties very well. DJ Harris has not faced them this year. I am probably off of pitching in this one. I'm looking like William Contreras in 94 at-bats against left-handed pitching, batting .340 with 2 bombs. Love those numbers there. Eric Haase did get traded over in 12 at-bats. Again, it's 12. It's very low sample size, batting .417 with 2 bombs. I like that. Gary Sanchez back off the IL. Haven't really talked about him much. He was hurt for a while. But he historically mashes lefties. This year, batting .232, but has 4 bombs against lefties as well. Those are kind of the ones. Rhys Hoskins, you would think would be a little bit more, but he's not. Sal Frelick batting .286 against lefties. I do not mind that at all. Willy Adames, I do not mind him either. So I'm probably fading the pitching in this one. I like both offenses. I like Milwaukee's offense better in this one, but I'm not going to shy away from having Washington bats either. If I probably will have a stack of them as well. So that's where I'm going to go at this game. This next one, so we've got Kansas City Royals at Detroit Tigers. You got Michael Lorenzen versus to be announced. So I believe this was Jack Flaherty, should have been Jack Flaherty's spot in the rotation. As of the making of the video, they have not decided who's going to pitch, which makes sense because, who knew? But Kansas City did trade for Michael Lorenzen, which was kind of surprising. But yeah, we could take advantage of that. Looking at this, I don't mind the Michael Lorenzen here. I would rather, depending on who obviously the pitcher is for Detroit, Bobby Witt Jr. is one of the best hitters on the planet right now. You got to get him in there. Vinny Pasquantino right behind him. Sal Perez is another one. So those are my main 3. It will, once these numbers come up and change and we see, this player is going to be the one who's pitching, that'll help us determine the other batters that we like. But I think those 3, regardless, lefty-righty matchup, those would be the Kansas City bats that I would look at. I will have some exposure to Michael Lorenzen. Not a ton, but I will have some exposure to Michael Lorenzen. At the moment, I just don't see myself having any Detroit bats. Maybe once we throw out, we get the pitcher out there and then the simulations run, maybe we'll see some batters that we do like. But as of the moment, none really jump out to me. So we'll leave it at that. I will have Michael Lorenzen, and I will have some Kansas City bats today. Then the final game, you've got Jordan Montgomery, who got absolutely shelled in his last start. His last start was Monday against Washington, who should have been a easier-ish matchup for him. 4 innings pitched, 6 earned runs, 1 home run, 3 walks, 1 strikeout. Not ideal. Only threw 78 pitches. On the season, he's got a 6.51 ERA, 7-5 record, and a low amount of strikeouts, 48 strikeouts, a 169 whip. It's just when he's out there, he's not going deep into games really, and he's getting hurt. He was obviously hurt for almost a month, then came back, had a start against Kansas City that he actually won, and then got shelled by Washington. Now, I'm not saying the Pirates are a, fantastic hitting team, but if I were to take Pirates bats against him, O'Neal Cruz is at the top of my list. They haven't really seen him much. McCutchen could be there, just depending. But depending on who's in there, Joey Bart in 31 at-bats against lefties, .419 batting average. Some good numbers there. Brian De La Cruz, I would take him against lefty, batting .279 with 4 bombs. Brian Reynolds is another one I would take. I do not mind a Pirate stack here. I think people are going to be off of that. I think they're going to be looking at Mitch Keller, but not the Pirates bats. I kind of want to go with the Pirates bats here. But I also kind of like, depending, Mitch Keller, I don't know about Mitch Keller. He's already faced Arizona once this year, had success, went 7 innings in that game. I kind of like Mitch Keller here and probably fade Arizona. So I think it's a full Arizona fade for me and go just Mitch Keller, and that's where I'm at in this situation. Mitch Keller and the Pirates bats, I feel pretty comfortable with, more so than I trust Jordan Montgomery at all. So that is the early slate done. Early slate is done. those games are out the way. We've got a 10-game main slate. But before we get into it, we're going to talk about today's sponsor, Outlier.bet. We've talked about it before. We'll say it again. It's the first sports betting super app. I've said it before. It is a combination of all of these different websites combined into one great interface. You can check out everything there. Now, we have a link in the description. Anyone who signs up with our link, goes through the 7-day free trial, then pays the subscription. So for the regular price, it's $30. If you do that, send me a screenshot to DFS to our email address, dfshelp1@gmail.com, and we will give you a free month of FTA Plus. But they do have a pro package. Pro package is $130 for the month. If you go through the free trial, then pay that $130, send me a screenshot. We are going to give you 3 months of FTA Plus absolutely free on top of it. That is a $90 value on top of what you're getting already, sports betting and DFS. Now with that, you can see the premium all the way here. But if you want to look at the pro, positive EV, sharp book odds, boost analysis, middle betting, and arbitrage are all there. Now, these are all bets from Friday, but you can kind of just see what the pro does with arbitrage. Middle bets, there are currently no. So when there are ones, they will flood in there. The popular bets that I really love using here, FanDuel trending parlays. So it's trending parlays and how many people have bet these certain parlays. Those are there. Then you've got other ways to go around. Like if you go to games, you can go into the games. Like let's look, for instance, this game, the Yankees Toronto. You can see you can see all the player props, team props, game props, the odds, the lines that are here, how the starting pitchers have done against the opposing team. And then you can even go with BVP. You can go with batter splits. So we've got batter splits and BVP on the website. This puts it all there as well. It is awesome to use. Outlier.bet. If you want to check them out, go check it out. 7-day free trial. All you got to do is click the link in the description and get on your way to winning along with checking us out as well. So that being said, we've got a main slate starting Boston, Texas. Now, this is Texas, I believe, was Michael Lorenzen's spot in the rotation. That is why currently it's showing to be announced, but it seems like it's going to be Dane Dunning. That's where it seems like it's going, and I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. So Michael Lorenzen obviously got shipped out. Now they have a spot that we're looking to, what are we going to do with it? So we kind of look at it. They think it's going to be Dane Dunning. If it is, I do like a Boston stack here. He has not faced Boston this year, but he's got a 5 ERA. Splits-wise at home, a 4.08 ERA. That spells disaster for anyone. That spells disaster for me, where I don't trust him enough. They obviously didn't trust him enough and put him to the bullpen. But it could be either Dunning or Cody Bradford. Regardless, I would definitely see if the lineup that comes out for Boston, because I feel more comfortable with them. So if it is Dane Dunning, which it could be, I would look at Boston bats. Devers. Obviously, Devers makes sense. A lot of sense. Yoshida makes a lot of sense. Duran makes a lot of sense. Connor Wong makes a lot of sense. David Hamilton or Rami Gonzalez, those guys make sense to complete a 5-man DraftKings stack there. Then we've got Tanner Houck. So we got Tanner Houck coming in, going up against Texas. You know, clearly Texas is a great team. Won the World Series last year. You know, Tanner Houck has not faced them this year, but he does have a 2.79 ERA. He's got 116 strikeouts. He is on the road. His ERA is actually better on the road, 2.38. All signs point to I like Tanner Houck here. Probably not looking at Texas bats. Obviously, if you want to fade Texas bats, that's okay. Corey Seager, Wyatt Langford, Jonah Heim could be one. Josh Young, Marcus Semien. But in my instance, I'm probably going with Tanner Houck and then stacking Boston. Not looking at Texas bats. Really not looking at Dane Dunning whatsoever in this situation. Then we got the White Sox at the Twins. You got Garrett Crochet versus Bailey Ober. Now, the conundrum is Garrett Crochet. He was supposed to be traded, then he wasn't going to be traded, then there was a possibility, then he wasn't traded. They're still looking to save his arm a little bit. He came out with the whole, I don't want to pitch in the postseason if I don't get an extension or whatever. My problem is the White Sox are so bad, why wouldn't they limit his pitches, limit his innings? That's my problem, especially since he is the second highest priced pitcher on the slate. Splits-wise, he's already faced Minnesota twice this year and has actually gotten lit up by them for 7 earned runs. He's got great stuff. I cannot trust him, and I cannot trust the White Sox not to dial him down. So I am probably fading. I'm not probably. Most likely, for sure, fading Garrett Crochet today. I just don't trust him enough. I'm scared to use him due to all of the situations that we just discussed. So I am probably off of him. He's got great stuff. He could have a good game. I just don't know if I want to take that chance, especially at his price. If you want to take Minnesota bats, because generally Minnesota hits lefties better. Willie Castro's got a home run against him. Carlos Santana has a home run against him. But then if you dig into the numbers and you see which Minnesota bats hit lefties well, Royce Lewis batting .364 against lefties. As long as he's healthy, we're good. Byron Buxton batting .291. Max Kepler batting .281. Manny Margot batting .283. Brooks Lee batting .292. I don't know if he'll be in there, but there are a lot of numbers here. And you guys know me. We love Ryan Jeffers against a lefty. Anytime he's there and he's got a matchup against the lefty, I am A-okay with everything that they bring to the table there. So I am probably looking at a Minnesota stack. I do not want anything to do with Chicago White Sox. I would take Bailey Ober. Bailey Ober, I believe he's faced them before. He's faced them twice this year. He's actually gotten lit up. 12 innings, 7 earned runs. Not had the best option here, but the way, who knows if it's some of the batters that, were traded. I don't mind Bailey Ober for tournaments. I don't trust him in cash. I'd rather go with the Minnesota bats over Garrett Crochet today. Then you got the Orioles at the Guardians. You got Zach Eflin versus Joey Cantillo. So Eflin coming in, obviously got traded. Comes in, he's got a 4.11 ERA. Game log, he has not faced Cleveland this year. And Cleveland, they're a good team. We know this. You guys know this if you've been following baseball at all. They're a great team. The strikeouts are kind of low. His ERA's up there. Couple of good games there, and then not a good game against the Yankees. That's the problem. He has not faced a team like this. The last team he came in and faced after the trade. I don't know if I trust him, especially against Cleveland. I don't see how I could trust him at all here. I'm probably fading Eflin. And then Cantillo here. I mean, he's so cheap, but he's got an 8.10 ERA. One start was against Philly, 3.1 innings. Didn't go deep in the game, but he did have 75 pitches, so he might not have been on a leash. He just got into trouble, had 3 walks, 3 strikeouts, 3.1 innings. Now he's going up against Baltimore. I'm probably fading the pitching in this game. I'm going the bats. Obviously, we know Baltimore, both of these offenses are really good offenses. We know that. Baltimore bats against left-handed pitching. Eloy Jimenez batting .304. If he is in there, use him until he gets hurt. Adley Rutschman in 126 at-bats against lefties, batting .357 with 7 bombs. You got to get him in there. Gunnar Henderson, even though it's a lefty-on-lefty matchup, mashes. We've got Gunnar Henderson there. Ryan Mountcastle, .306 batting average with 4 bombs against lefties. Got to get him in there as well. Now, Santander is better from the left side, but he's a switch hitter. He's got 8 bombs against lefties. He would be another bat that I would look at. Then bats for Cleveland against Zach Eflin. Andres Jimenez has a home run against him. Josh Naylor, 1-for-1 against him with 2 RBIs. Josh Naylor is hitting .255 against righties with 18 bombs. Jose Ramirez, 17 bombs. It's them. Then it's Steven Kwan. Then it really just depends on who else are we going to use. You could use Bo Naylor. You could use David Fry. I do not mind. I am fading pitching in this one. I am going just bats. Obviously, Baltimore bats are a little bit better, but I do not mind Cleveland either. Giants at the Reds, to be announced versus Hunter Green. This is going to be the trend. I mean, you guys know this. It does not matter. It could be it could be 3 hours before game time. And San Francisco, we don't know who's pitching for San Francisco. So that scares me a little bit all the time. There's so many injuries for San Francisco. We don't know if it's going to be actually the person or not. So I believe in yesterday's video, it was supposed to be, or or it was rumored to be Kyle Harrison, and then it turned into Blake Snell. For whatever reason, they changed it up. So it could be Kyle Harrison here, trying to see if they've got it. They think it's going to be Kyle Harrison here. Yeah, and he last pitched. Here's the problem. He last pitched last Friday, so it's been going on the 8th day. Whether or not that affects his every 5 days or regime or regiment, whatever, that scares me a little bit. Harrison comes in, Cincinnati. He's already faced him once this year, gave up 3 earned runs. Didn't really do much at that price. And this is in Cincinnati, which this is a hitter-friendly ballpark, one of the most hitter-friendly ballparks out there today. Probably fading Kyle Harrison. Not that it would be a bad idea, but I'm probably fading Harrison and looking for Cincinnati bats. That just feels like who I would go against there. The bats against lefties that I would go against, Ty France batting 237, I don't mind. Jonathan India batting 311 against lefties, I don't mind. Stuart Fairchild almost batting 300 with 4 bombs. I like that. Obviously, Ellie De La Cruz being a switch hitter. And Tyler Stevenson. Love Tyler Stevenson against lefties there. Then you got Hunter Green. Going up against San Francisco. He's not faced them this year. Pitching at home, he actually has a worse ERA near 4, averaging 18 fantasy points. He's been really good lately, though. I'm probably, as of now, unless simulations tell me otherwise, I'm probably facing... I don't mind Hunter Green here. I don't know about San Francisco. If you were to go San Francisco against Hunter Green, just batters that have had success against righties this year, Tyler Fitzgerald kind of slowed down a little bit, but he's batting 300 against them. Lamont Wade batting 278 with 3 bombs. Patrick Bailey batting 269 with 7 bombs. The majority of the San Francisco Giants, though, hit lefties better than they do righties. So that's what might give me a little bit of edge to use Hunter Green at home. But again, if the weather's blown out and there's wind, that scares me because it is known as Great American Small Park for a reason. So as of now, I'm looking at the Reds bats and I'm looking at Hunter Green. It could change a little bit. That's why this is a preliminary video. If you want to see more, all the batters, pitchers, everything that we like in depth a little bit more, check out FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. So we go to the next game. Tampa Bay Rays at the Astros. Zach Littell versus Ronel Blanco. So Littell coming in, 7,300, 4.18 ERA, has not faced Houston this year. Houston, obviously, I think a lot of people know that Houston started off very, very slow. We thought they were going to miss the playoffs. We know who they are. Littell, though, 4.18 ERA is kind of up there. That's my problem. He's not giving up a home run to this team, but this team can hit righties. Yainer Diaz batting 300 with 6 bombs. You got Altuve with double-digit home runs. You got Bregman with double-digit home runs. You got Yordan. He does hit lefties better, but he's got double-digit home runs. Those would be the ones you'd look at. You want to get a cheap version, if depending on the lineup that comes out. Trey Cabbage could be a cheap batter here, batting 233 with at least a home run against righties. I do not trust Zach Littell here. I would rather go with the Astros bats. And then Ronel Blanco, just because Tampa Bay, their offense is so bad, and they traded away people. They did trade away quite a few people. Blanco's the 3rd highest priced pitcher, 295 batting average. Splits-wise, he has not faced Tampa Bay this year. Game logs, actually his last 3 games, he has not done well, and his price is up there. That's what I am concerned about. 9,200, he's got to get at least 20-plus fantasy points. He's only gotten that once in his last 5 and twice in his last, 8? Little bit weary about that, but if there is a team that he could get back on the road on and get that 20 plus, it's this Tampa Bay offense that shipped out some of their good players. So I'm probably looking at Blanco and the Astros bats over Littell and Tampa Bay bats. Marlins at the Braves is next. Kyle Tyler versus to be announced. I believe this was Reynaldo Lopez's spot in the rotation. They think it's going to be Grant Holmes. The problem is he did last pitch. Let's see. Yeah, he's not guaranteed to be in the rotation. The hair is gross. Yeah, I mean, he is so cheap. Well, he was cheap. They went from 4,000 to 7,700. We don't know who it's going to be. So we can't really go over much there. Kyle Tyler coming in. if it loads. Has not faced Atlanta this year. 4.74 ERA. Has not done well when he's pitched. Has not gone 6 innings at all. Yeah, give me the Atlanta bats. I do not trust Tyler, and I don't know if it's going to be Grant Holmes. I don't trust, even if it were to be, I wouldn't trust him either. I would look at the offenses here. I think the Atlanta offense obviously is way better than Marlins. Atlanta bats that I would look at: Sean Murphy, Travis d'Arnaud, depending on who's in there catching. Austin Riley's got double digits, batting 273 against right-handed pitching. Marcell Ozuna's got 26 bombs against right-handed pitching. Actually has more bombs against them. That's kind of where I'm at. Jared Kelenic also has double-digit home runs against right-handed pitching. I do not mind them. Then if it is Grant Holmes, who we don't know, it might go Grant Holmes in the bullpen. If you want to get creative, you want to go Marlins as a stack. They hit righties way better than they hit lefties. So overall, like Bride, 280 batting average. You could look at him. Jake Berger, 12 bomb. Would not be surprised to see a Berger smash today. And that means a home run. Look at him. I would look at Xavier Edwards, batting 375 against right-handed pitching. I would look at Otto Lopez, Jesus Sanchez, maybe Kyle Stowers if he's up and he's playing. I do not mind. I think Miami today could be a sneakier stack than maybe people are thinking. So that is where I'd go. I'd obviously go the Braves as a higher offense, but Miami as a stack here could go under own today. And I don't want anything to do with the pitching whatsoever. Then before we get to the Rockies at the Padres, the keyword of the day is Stanley. This is my wife's cup. She's basic, just like every other basic female out there that buy these Stanley cups. I'm going to drink it because, again, it keeps the water cold for a very long time. But they're not cheap. They are not cheap. Stanley is that key word. So let's continue. We got the Rockies at the Padres. Do not know who's pitching for Colorado, which makes sense. They think it's going to be Nick Davis. They recalled him. So, yeah, because it should be him. I mean, he pitched. He's not going deep into games. Let's put it that way. He's probably an opener, and then that just brings out the bats. I'm not using him. And then Martin Perez, I completely missed that he got traded the other day. Had no idea. No idea. I missed that completely. It's been a minute since he's pitched. That might be a problem there. 6 innings. That was the 24th. So it's been a while. That could affect it. And he has a 5.10 ERA. I'm not looking at him whatsoever. I would be looking at the offenses in this one. I do not trust the pitching in this one. Regardless, it is a pitcher's park, but I think I'd rather go offenses on both sides. Colorado bats that have had success against him. Ryan McMahon batting 625 with a home run. Elias Diaz batting 625. So not bad. Charlie Blackmon batting 300, 3 for 10. So not much. But the bats that have success against right-handed pitching or left-handed pitching, I kind of like them here in this situation. So some form of Colorado stack for me would look like Elias Diaz, would look like Brennan Rodgers, Ryan McMahon. You could go Britton Doyle. You could go Michael Togliai, if that's how you say his name, I don't remember. Or if you're trying to find a different one, Charlie Blackmon, who kind of goes under the radar this year, would be, I think a Colorado stack could be sneaky today. And then not knowing who is pitching for Colorado kind of makes it a little bit harder. But again, Luis Arraez batting 308 on the season. You could always look at him. Donovan Solano batting 299 on the season. You could look at him. Bogarts batting 271. Jurickson Profar batting 304. I do not mind a San Diego stack, but let's wait to see who the pitcher's actually going to be, and that'll kind of help us out. So while this video is a great starting point, this shouldn't be the only place that you get your information. Make sure you check out the website, FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Up to date, up to the minute stuff when it drops. Speaking of dropping, sometime this weekend, I believe we're going to drop our fantasy football best ball quarterback, top 25 quarterback rankings for the year. We're going to drop these videos. We are in the month of fantasy football drafting. So we're getting up there. My question is, if anyone's still watching, would you guys be interested in doing like a weekly DraftKings league where we play each week, $5 entry for the week, points accrue throughout the season, and then at the end of the season, the top 3 get a prize. So you win money every single week, and then at the end of the season, first place gets a yearly package from FantasyTeamAdvisors.com. Second place gets a monthly package, and third place gets a weekly package. So you get your money throughout the entire season, then you might get a package towards the end. Or overall, the overall winner could be a lifetime pass, second place a yearly pass, third place a monthly pass once the season is over. Kind of thinking about that. We did it last year, kind of looking to see if we can get enough interest to can do it the whole season and not, it starts off really good and then people drop out. So it kind of stinks sometimes. But that is a video for a different day. I will put it that way. So next game, we've got the Dodgers at the Athletics. Jack Flaherty making his debut against Mitch Spence. I mean, he is the most expensive, $9,800. He's got a great matchup against Oakland. He's already faced them once this year. Actually got lit up by them. 6 innings, 6 earned runs. Was this in Oakland? Or it might have been, when they get traded, yeah. So it was in Detroit. Now it's in Oakland. He's got a great offense behind him. He's got the points there. I don't mind Jack Flaherty. He has been lit up by them in the past, but I will have some exposure to Jack Flaherty in this situation. And then Mitch Spence coming in all the way down here. Game logs, he has not faced the Dodgers this year. Pitching at home's got a better ERA at home, 3.93. Actually, a couple of games that are okay for his price, but he really hasn't moved the needle a ton. And this is the Dodgers. I'm probably off of Spence. I'm probably looking at Jack Flaherty, and I'm probably looking at the Dodgers offense more than anything else. Obviously, it is anchored by Ohtani, followed by Freddie Freeman is what I would look at. And then just depending on who also might be there, Gavin Lux could be there if you're looking for another bat in that lineup. Will Smith would be another one that I would look at. So I'm fading Mitch Spence. I'm fading Oakland. I'm looking at Jack Flaherty. I'm looking at the Dodgers offense. Then we've got the Mets at the Angels, David Peterson versus Jose Soriano. So David Peterson, tale of two Davids, 3.52 ERA, has not faced the Angels this year. Hasn't really done much. 13.1, 12.7, 22.7. Nothing sexy about those numbers. The strikeouts kind of are there, but the earned runs have been there as well. Does have potential for against the Angels, but I'm probably not using Peterson. I'm probably not using... I know I'm not going to use Soriano, but looking at Soriano's numbers... he's up here a little bit more. Splits-wise, he has not faced the Mets this year. 3.69. He's actually worse at home, 5.19. Game logs, coming off a terrible game against Oakland, really good game against Seattle, good game against Seattle, and then some mediocre games there. And Seattle's the team that strikes out the most. So I'm probably off of both of these offenses, or pitching, and looking at just the offenses. So the Mets offense against Soriano, Francisco Alvarez, Pete Alonso. I would look at Harrison Bader batting 297 with 6 bombs against right-handed pitching. I don't mind. Jesse Winker is another one I would look at. 10 home runs, 268 batting average. You want to get cheap. Mark Vientos or Tyrone Taylor could be cheap anchors in a Mets stack for you. And then I don't trust David Peterson, so I would look at the Angels bats. I would definitely be looking at Kevin Pillar against lefties. He'll be a cheap option there. Zach Neto batting 417 against lefties I would look at. Kevin Pillar, like I said. Taylor Ward batting 324 with 3 bombs. And if you do need another one, maybe Logan O'Hoppe. Only batting 212, so he is better against left-handed pitching, or right-handed pitching. But if you need a 5th guy, I don't mind Logan O'Hoppe either. And then the final game for the day, you've got Kobe Allard versus Bryce Miller. You've got Phillies at the Mariners to shore up the day to end the main slate. Kobe Allard down here. So I don't mind him because Seattle strikes out a ton. They strike out the most out of anyone. That being said, Kobe Allard making is his second start. Yeah, his second start. Did not go well against Cleveland. Went 4 innings, 1.4 fantasy points. I think Colby Allard is more... He only one strikeout there. I think he's more pitches be crazy or sports betting than DFS. I just don't trust him enough. Seattle's offense can put up some runs when they want to. Seattle's offense against left-handed pitching this year. Justin Turner batting .299. Randy Arozarena batting .253. Both deadline pickups that could have good games. Mitch Garver batting .235 with 6 bombs. I don't mind him. Dylan Moore batting .239 with 3 bombs. I do not mind him either. Then we look at Bryce Miller. Bryce Miller comes in a.k.a. Morgan Wallen. We had you guys look it up last time he pitched. Splits-wise, pitching at home is actually way better at home. 1.88 ERA. Great games against the White Sox, the Angels, San Diego. I think people are going to... Philly's a great hitting team. I don't mind Bryce Miller here. Pitches really well at home. Has over 100 strikeouts, 8-7 record. Overall, Philly hits lefties a little bit better than they do righties. Bohm has .312 batting average, 7 home runs. Harper's got 17 home runs. Turner's got 8 home runs. Marsh has got 11 home runs. But we just saw them get swept by the Yankees. I think Bryce Miller could be a sneaky option while I think people are going to be on Philly bats. So that's kind of my thought there. I might be, as of now, we'll look at how the weather's doing, how the wind is blowing out. We'll see what the wind is doing later on. But my situation right now, I do not mind Bryce Miller against Philly. I don't mind Colby Allard. You could go him in tournaments, I guess, because he is so cheap and the Mariners do strike out, but he doesn't really bring a lot to the table in his one start so far. And there you have it. That is the entire breakdown, the early slate, the main slate, our sponsor, Outlier.bet. We've got it all for you there. Now, giving you the top 5 pitchers for Pitches Be Crazy right now. In no way, shape, or form are these the only pitchers you should be looking at, but these are the ones that all of them have the best matchup on paper against teams that strike out the most. So use that information how you will, because FanDuel does have the contest where you can do the pitching. That's why we brought this to the table. But Colby Allard at Seattle. Seattle strikes out 10.19 times per game. At home, they strike out 10.33. Number 2 is Martin Perez versus Colorado. Colorado strikes out 9.71 times per game. And on the road, they strike out 10.34, so they strike out more on the road. Number 3 is Dane Dunning, because we think he's going to be pitching against Boston. Boston strikes out 9.63 times per game. Jack Flaherty against Oakland. Oakland is striking out 9.39 times per game, but at home they strike out 8.68, so they're a little bit better at home, and Jack Flaherty has gotten lit up by them in the past, but on paper he's got the 4th best matchup. And the 5th best one, Jordan Montgomery versus Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh strikes out 9.17 times per game. My problem is Jordan Montgomery might get lit up. He's not got a ton of strikeouts this year. I'm probably fading that. These are not the sexiest names for Pitches Be Crazy for today, but those are the top 5 according to statistics for the season so far. Now, you guys are here for all of the 10 out of 10 matchup ratings for our batters after the initial simulations. There's not a ton today compared to what there was. Maybe it'll update later on when we run more simulations, but here we go. Number 1 is Aaron Judge versus Jose Barrios. Number 2 is Juan Soto versus Barrios. 3, Adley Rutschman. 4, Seiya Suzuki. 5, Ian Happ. 6, Kevin Pillar. 7, Isaac Paredes. 8, Nolan Schanuel. 9, Cal Raleigh. And number 10 is Nico Horner versus Kyle Gibson. There it is. 10 batters that have a 10 out of 10 matchup rating as of right now after doing 10,000 simulations. So that's what I've got for you. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, get those down below. Hit us up on our Discord. We go through lineups there. We go through core plays there. People bounce ideas off of each other. People bounce lineups off of each other. And we trying to build a community out there. So I know it's a long-winded video, but thank you guys for checking it out. Thanks for supporting the family. Thanks for supporting us here. Good luck on this amazing Saturday. Let's have some fun and mostly let's bring them some bacon. Peace.